Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not just cooking. Oh no, we are running a protocol. We're about to engineer the definitive solution to one of cooking's most common failures, sad, dry, flavorless turkey tacos.
So here's our mission, and it is crystal clear. We are going after the two biggest reasons this meal fails. I'm talking about those preservative-packed seasoning packets and that block of processed cheese product. We're going to replace them with something way, way better.
I mean, this is the batter right here. We've all been there. You make ground turkey, and it ends up like this. This bland, dry gravel. It's just sad. But when you follow the protocol, the result is juicy, intensely flavorful, and has this incredible velvety texture. This is the upgrade we are building today. Okay, let's get into it. Phase 1 is all about building our flavor foundation. Think of it like this. We are basically reverse engineering a taco packet, but we're stripping out all the junk and seriously amplifying what actually matters, the flavor. Now, this blend isn't just random spices thrown together. Chili powder's our base, cumin adds that earthy depth, but the secret weapon, the absolute game changer, is the smoked paprika. It creates this deep, savory, almost beefy flavor that lean turkey is just begging for. Oh, and a little pro tip for you. Always crush dried oregano in your hands before you throw it in. It wakes up all those essential oils.
And here's the best part. You know what's in those store-bought packets? Mostly salt, cornstarch, and weird anti-caking agents to act as cheap fillers. Our Matrix? It's a 100% pure flavor payload. Absolutely zero junk.
So, with our flavor matrix totally engineered, we are moving on to the most critical phase. This is where we solve the #1 problem with ground turkey, the dryness. Seriously, this is where almost everybody goes wrong.
93%. Look at that number. Burn it into your brain. This is the single most important piece of data for this entire phase. It is completely non-negotiable if you want this to work.
And here's why. That little 7% of fat, it's not the enemy. It is a critical vehicle for moisture and for carrying all those oil-soluble flavors we just made. If you use 99% lean turkey, it's a guaranteed system failure. I'm not kidding. You will end up with flavorless sawdust. Just don't do it. Okay, so here are the steps for the hydration technique. You start by building that aromatic base with onions, but pay really close attention to step 2. We are not just sprinkling powder on the meat later. No, we're adding our spice matrix and some tomato paste directly into the hot oil. And that, right there, raises a really important question. So why do we do this? What's the science here? Why not just dump everything in the pan at once, like most people do? Well, the answer is the key to unlocking absolutely maximum flavor. It all comes down to basic chemistry. The key flavor compounds in our spices are oil-soluble, not water-soluble. So by blooming them in hot oil before any liquid hits the pan, we're literally changing their chemical structure and pulling out a depth of flavor that's, well, impossible to get any other way. See? This is chemistry, not just cooking. Okay, so our protein is now perfectly seasoned and perfectly hydrated. It's time to engineer its counterpart. We are moving on to phase 3, creating a real food liquid gold that makes processed cheese totally obsolete. And we do this with a classic French technique called a Mornay sauce. Don't worry, it sounds fancy, but it's super simple. It starts with a basic roux, just butter and flour. Then you slowly whisk in some warm milk till you get a nice, thick base. But that third step, adding the cheese, well, that involves the single most critical instruction of this entire phase.
Right here. This is it. Read it, memorize it, do not forget it. This is the one thing that prevents your sauce from failing. High heat is the absolute enemy of a good cheese sauce. It makes the fats and proteins separate, or break, and you're left with a greasy, grainy mess. So before a single shred of cheese hits that pod, you have to kill the heat.
And that brings us to the second rule of cheese sauce, your raw material. That pre-shredded cheese in a bag, it's coated in powders like cellulose to stop it from clumping. And guess what? That same powder will stop your sauce from getting silky smooth. If you want that perfect velvety texture, you have to buy a block of sharp cheddar and shred it yourself. Trust me, there is no substitute.
Okay, let's take stock. All our primary components have been engineered to perfection. We've got the flavor matrix, the hydrolocked turkey, and the liquid gold cheese sauce. It is time for phase 4, the final assembly. So you've got two primary options here. For tacos, it's pretty straightforward. Char your tortillas on an open flame, load them up. But for nachos, the protocol is very specific. You layer your chips and meat on a sheet pan and bake them for 5 minutes first. This gets the chips super crispy and heats the meat so they can stand up to the final, glorious step, drowning them in that incredible cheese sauce. So, what did we just accomplish? By following this protocol, we've built a final product that is just worlds better in both taste and texture, all built on a foundation of high-quality protein and clean, whole food ingredients. We systematically engineered a better result.
You now have the method. You know how to deconstruct and re-engineer a common meal into something amazing. You've seen firsthand how controlling variables like fat content and solubility and temperature leads to a predictable, high-quality outcome every single time. So the only question left is, what are you going to engineer next?